Welcome to another edition of Check It Out. I'm Sharon Phillips, reference librarian at Juliet Hampton Morgan Memorial Library.
I'm Brenda Davis, reference librarian here at Juliet Hampton Morgan. I'm a librarian too.
Today we're going to share with you some of the new adult nonfiction books that have been added to the shelves at your local library.
Nonfiction books are shelved using the Dewey Classification System 000s to 999, which means you will be looking for the book by the number, then the author's last name, or the editor's name.
These books have been chosen for the author's credibility and reliability, and they are readily understood by the general public. Our first book is about the Mexican immigrant crisis going on in Texas. It is called Clandestine Crossings, Migrants and Coyotes on the Texas Border by David Spinner. This is in the 300s. It is located at Morgan. If you only read one book this year about all that's going on with the migrants, this is the one that you need to read. It has 62 pages of notes and references and index. The book gives an in-depth description of what's going on, and Mr. Spinner tries to humanize the coyotes, which are paid guides, and the migrants.
Next we have the book No Remorse, The Rise and Fall of John Wallace by Arthur Dot Moore. A prominent businessman loses control. In No Remorse, that Arthur explores that fatal night on April the 20th, 1948, when John Wallace killed William Turner. The author explains his early childhood, how at an early age, at 11, John lost his father, and he was exposed to the selling of moonshine. She also tried to share some insight on what made John Wallace both cruel and generous at the same time. John was prone to fits of uncontrolled rage. The murder is still unclear as of this day. He was a modern-day Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Dot Moore, who wrote this book, is a Montgomery native. This book can be found at Morgan and and it is in the biography section. One of the science books I want to share with you today is called Epigenetics. Epigenetics is the Ultimate Mystery of Inheritance by Richard Francis. I had to look the word up so I would know what it meant, and it is the study of heritable changes in gene expression or cellular phenotype caused by mechanisms other than changes in the underlying DNA sequence. This book may give some answers to that nature versus nurture debate that has been going on so long. And it talks about what grandparents do that changes the genes of their grandchildren. If a grandfather started smoking before puberty, for instance, men have a greater chance of becoming obese when they grow up. This book also has great notes, has a wonderful index and a bibliography for further study.
All right, next we're going to go along with Dug Down Deep by Joshua Harris. Mr. Harris tried to share with us some insight on how we can rediscover the importance and power of our Christian truth. Mr. Harris believed that theology is a vital necessary for living things. Mr. Harris' book contains 11 chapters. 8 of the chapters in this book are reflections on key Christian beliefs, including the doctrine of God, Scripture, works of Christ, are just a few of the chapters. Mr. Harris explained that Christian theology in a way that we all can understand. The book provides a pathway of understanding the heart and mind of God.
Mm-hmm. This book's in the 200s, and you can find it at Morgan or the Extension. This book also helps you to get unafraid of all those big words, right. Systematic theology, doctrine.
He breaks them down in a way that you really
in a very good way. My second science book today is called The Sun's Heartbeat and Other Stories from the Life of the Star That Empowers Our Planet by Bob Berman. This book is found in the 523.7 at Morgan. This book is full of fascinating facts that are related to the sun. One of them is about the northern lights. The northern lights, or auroras, happen because a mass ejection of material aimed at the Earth, aimed at the Earth. It takes 1 to 4 days for that mass to arrive at the Earth, and that is our northern lights. The northern lights are also shaped in an oval, which I didn't know. That from 2012 to 2016 is going to be the best time to see those northern lights, and March is the best month to see them. This book also includes some websites if you're not able to make the trip. It also explains how rainbows are never the same for two people. If two people are standing side by side, they never see the same rainbow. And scientists are beginning to think that the sun is safer than sunscreen because they've had some studies on autism that links lack of sunlight in mothers and children with autism. This is another one of the science books that's for the general public, and it has great indexes, notes, and a great bibliography.
Next, we're going to share with you Alabama Folks Pottery. This book is a celebration of 20 years of pottery making in Alabama. This historical collection opened at the Birmingham Museum of Art in the year 2006. Alabama pottery makers have to be skilled in what they're doing. Most people think you don't have to, but you do, which makes pottery making very important to Alabama. The research for this book was collected from Alabama pottery makers, their ancestors, and relatives. So come check this book out.
We have a new book about education from Dr. Steve Perry. Push comes to shove, getting our kids the education they deserve, even if it means picking a fight. Dr. Perry knows education. He is the founder and principal of Capital Prep Magnet School in Hartford, Connecticut. This school is one of the best performing schools in America. It sends 100% of its mostly minority students to four-year colleges. Dr. Perry's book is written in 7 parts, which he has labeled Inspiration, Purpose, School, Parenting, Gatekeepers, Outdated, and Solutions. Some of the chapters in the parenting section are Dazed and Confused, Adults versus Parents. I have no idea where he learned that. Parents are like cars. In the Parents are like cars chapter, there's a test you can take to find out what kind of car you are. Dr. Perry believes that parents should audit their home. If they are interested in education as much as they say they are, then it will show up in the home. Dr. Perry is not an academic writing from theory. He is an educator writing from proven solutions.
Also, kids from Dr. Perry's schools go on to four-year colleges. They're mostly minorities. So he's very concerned about education. He wants every child in America to have the best education that they can get.
Yes, and this book is located at Main and Hampstead in 371.2.
Next I'm going to share with you is one of my favorites. It's called Lift Every Voice. This book is packed with over 150 speeches. It is the most extensive and diverse collection of African American speeches there is. We have great American speeches in here from Frederick Douglass, Ida B. Wells, Booker T. Washington. We also have lesser known speakers whose work deserve to be recognized and studied. So if you're interested in learning more about African American speeches, come on down and check out this book.
This book is in the 900s, and if you haven't ever read it, it also includes Sojourner Truth's Ain't I a Woman? It's a great book. We have 2 cookbooks, and cookbooks are in the 600s. This one, Great Easy Meals, 250 fun and fast. Sorry. This book is located at Morgan, Louder, Lewis, Coliseum, Governor Square, Pike Road in Hampstead. It comes from Network Foods magazines from their weeknight cooking section. The book is filled with quick recipes, kitchen tips, ways to use leftovers, and secret ingredients, and what recipes to use them in. It has a mix and match page that gives you several choices on how to make whichever that section has included in it. The pasta section has a garlic and green spaghetti dish with 28 grams of protein. It also has some 10-minute desserts, and the book is color-coded so you can go right where you need to. And this book was meant to be used in the kitchen. It's high-quality paper that can be wiped off.
So come check it out.
Our last book is Small Batch Preserving. It's the complete book with over 300 delicious recipes in it. This is the completely revised and expanded edition. It is at 641.4 and it's located at Morgan, Louder, Lewis, Coliseum, and Governor Square. If you are one of those people that like step-by-step instructions, this is the book for you. This book has wonderful recipes such as gazpacho salsa with tips included, and it gives you directions back and forth in case you forget how you were supposed to do something. And it has a great index. We'd like to remind you to check out Overdrive. We do have cookbooks on Overdrive. We don't have this one in particular, but we do have others.
That you'd be able to check out. Also, any of the books that we was talking about in any of the Dewey Decimal area, come down. We probably have them. That way you'll be able to download the book. You'll be able to look at it at your convenience, and you'll be able to check it out.
Yep.
We have lots to offer here, so we would enjoy having you, and we appreciate you coming down, and we'd like to see you at Juliet Hampton Morgan.